All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Christopher Franks with Texas West Capital. It's about a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on a rainy Monday morning in San Antonio, Texas. What is it? The 21st of September, 2020. Man, oh man, what a weekend! That whole hurricane, tropical storm, back and forth, left and right. But overall, we're just getting a little bit of rain. It looks like from it, so nothing too much. However, I'll be thinking about my friends down there on the coast and, of course, in Houston. Gonna have to deal more with a an onslaught of this thing coming in. It's been a crazy season, guys. Lots of weather down here. So, hurricane season that ends here in the U.S. The Atlantic season there ends on the end of November, I believe. So we've still got almost a month and a half of. Almost 2.5 months of potential weather there, and we're just rolling through those letters, naming those storms. It's crazy times, man. Let me see here. Who's here already? Data's here. Casper, what's going on? Real users here. Greg, what's going on, man? Let me see. French Bull, what's up, buddy? Offmain's here as well. Phoenix, hello, coming in from hot Arizona, he says. Hey there, Corn 100K. And Tellurriders is back from vacation. Man, you were on vacation? What are you doing on vacation, man? You don't get to go on vacation. We need you over in Discord, talking and stuff. Hey there, Core Maximalist. Devin, good to see you guys. Man, lots of sell-off this morning. As I tweeted earlier, the sell-off today across the markets is not surprising. It was expected. Those of you who are with us, Tier 2 and Tier 3, we had all our daily and intraday updates there suggesting we were going to have a sell-off into the beginning of this week. But neither is surprising the surprise by the market participants. That's the way it always is. Everybody acts surprised when they shouldn't act surprised. But that's why most people are losing money in the markets, guys. And that's one thing we want to help you try to get around. Here's the thing, guys. At the end of the day, I can't make you let go of bad habits. I can't make you really, honestly listen. A lot of times we tell ourselves we're listening, we tell ourselves we're going to do something, and then we don't. How many times have you said to yourself, man, you know what? Man, I screwed up this time. Next time, I'm not doing that. And then next time comes around, and what do? Same darn thing, right? There's this old adage that says basically you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? What that means is I can give you guys all the information and all these techniques and everything in the world, but it's ultimately up to you to pull through and do it, guys. I can't do it for you. I don't trade for you. You trade for yourself. You have to either do it or not do it. Whether you believe you think you can or you can't, you're correct, right? You hold complete control over what you do in life and how successful you are in life. Even if you don't believe that at the moment, I'm telling you it's true. But it's all in how you approach life. You have to believe that you have control in order to exert control. You got it? And it's the same thing in life as it is in the markets, guys. You cannot think in life that you have no control, that you're a victim all the time, and then expect to get into the markets and do something different. You can't. Your brain believes what you tell it. And sometimes, we try and lie to it, but your brain knows when you're lying. Your brain knows. And so you wonder why, I was lying to it, and it didn't get any better. Well, yeah, because you were lying to it. You didn't have conviction. You didn't believe in what you were really saying. Psychology is one of the hardest parts of trading, guys. Everybody out there sells their systems, their techniques, and we teach a lot of them, guys. And a lot of them are easy to use, and they're doing it. I mean, I just got one of our members just messaged me again this morning. He said, man, this is incredible. I just used 3 of your techniques all together and made a ridiculous amount on this trade I just did. So we can teach that. That's great, and that's all. But, that's to help you guys as you get along and you start believing in yourself more. See, the good thing about the techniques that we teach you on our Tier 3 weekly training is these are things that you can use, and you can use, if done properly, they can provide that confidence that you need to start believing that you have control. And then once you really start believing you have control in the markets, that leads to life too. You can't believe one or the other, guys. If you don't believe you have control in the markets, then you don't honestly believe that you have control in life. And it's the other way around as well. If you don't believe you have control in your life, if you don't believe that you are self-directing where you're going, then you will not, you can't be successful in the markets. How could you be? If you believe that everything's against you and you're a victim and you're just held to the whim of whatever the world's going to do, how could you possibly expect to be consistently successful in the markets? But luckily, that's all something that's in your head. You just have to get through it. You have to understand that and then work through it. And it's nothing that happens overnight. It's nothing that, that you can say, oh, and then, instantly just be fine. You've got all these years of bad habits and bad emotional baggage and these things that society and family and friends and everything put on you that you have to shrug off and you have to move away from. See, these are the things that most people aren't going to tell you guys. They're like, hey, pay $500 for our system and you'll be just fine. No, you won't, because if you can't figure out that you're in control, how are you possibly going to pay attention to their system? How are you going to follow through on their system, even if their system works? Which most of them don't consistently, but even if they did, how would you be expected to use it effectively if you don't believe that, right? So, just some thoughts, guys, as we begin the day here, as we begin the week and the trading going on here. I see a lot of people really upset, when the markets drop. Instead of looking at the other way of going, well, I can make a lot of money on the way down too. I can short. I can buy bounces. It may, but it's because everybody's in that thought process, especially of things like Bitcoin or stocks where they want it to go up the minute they buy it. Because, the market tends to go right and up, right? It tends to go right and up. And so if it goes down, it throws it. That's why Forex is so good, guys. That's why I love Forex, man. You don't get hung up on, oh my God, I'm going to buy the South African Rand or something and it's going to go up. I'm buying it now so that it goes up forever kind of thing. No, that isn't what it does. Currencies tend to move in ranges. So you lose a lot of that emotional attachment, which then helps you better be able to see the possible sells and buys. And, of course, Forex makes it incredibly easy to short. It does. So, again, just some thoughts on it. That's why we talk about all that, guys. That's why we, give it all. We don't like set it off separately. If you're tier 2, you have access to all those setups across all those markets. If you're tier 3, of course, same thing. You have setups across all those markets. The education we give you gets you to be able to use across all the markets. The same education, all the markets. So just some thoughts there. Anyway, let me check up with you guys. Who else showed up here? Joe the Butcher, what's up, man? Club Trader is here. Miss Blockchain Gauge checking in. Baker's here this morning. Nexus, it's going great. Hopefully for yourself as well. Sir Hove, good evening. Sparta Crypto, good to see you. LG, checking in. KRN, what's up, man? Says, been away for a while. How are you? I am doing well. So I saw a lot of new info in the Discord. Need to catch up. Yeah. Adam did a great job this weekend of changing up the way the channels are done in there. And now if you're tier 3, because, again, if you're tier 3, you get access to whatever it is, 40 channels or something, right? 40 or 50 channels. And so just the tier 3 specific channels, those things that you get only as tier 3 members, are all highlighted with different, stars or fire or whatever. So they're easy for you guys to find, chart request, hot takes, the weekly education for tier 3, those types of things. So Adam did a great job this week. I was really excited. Excuse me. Hey there, Mads. Good to see you. Sparto says, the tier 3 teachings are staying in archives, or is it just live and gone? They are archived. So if you were to, join tier 3 today, if somebody was to join tier 3 today, they would get access to all the stuff we've done for the last, whatever it's been, 2 months and some change. I think we've got about 10 or 12 hours worth of different tips and techniques there with just that alone. That's in addition to the other video content, educational content that we have. So yeah, you get access to it right away. Hey there, Kyle. Good to see you. HR Booms, what's going on? He says, you are truly teaching about more than just the markets. These are life lessons. Man, thank you for saying that, because that's really what it's about, guys. If you've been following me for a long time, I firmly believe that you cannot be different in the markets than you are in real life. I think the biggest issue, the biggest problem that people across the world face today is this belief that they don't have control. And that's a product of what goes on with, government and societies and families and all these things. But you can, nobody's ever become successful, especially from nothing, believing that they didn't have control. It's not that some people are luckier than others. It's who's paying attention, who really believes. If you believe you have control of your life, then you notice things that you wouldn't otherwise notice. You notice opportunities. You put in the extra hours that are needed if they're needed. You do the things you've got to do to get the things done because you believe that you will positively affect where you are headed. If you don't believe you have control, you don't do those things, guys. I'm telling you now. I didn't come from, silver spoons and mansions or anything like that. I came from a blue collar family. That's where I started. There's no way I could have gotten to where I am today if I believed that I didn't have control over my life. I figured, you know what? I didn't want to work for somebody else. I wanted to create something for myself where I was in control. And I knew I had to do it if I wanted to be happy in life, because I was never happy listening to somebody else. I've got an issue with authority. I do. Whether it be at work or otherwise. I don't like being told what to do. So I created a life for myself. And you can do it too, believe it or not, guys, no matter where you are. And you go, oh, but you're a white male. Listen, you know what? Get off all the other nonsense. It may or may not place some degree of effect on what you're doing, but ultimately, whether you believe you cannot or you believe you can, you are correct. There are people a lot worse off than anybody out there right now. I'm telling you what, if you've got an internet connection and you're watching this right now, you're better off than over half the world. And if you're better off than over half the world, then there's nothing holding you back from being where you want to be in life other than yourself. And this belief that you can't control your life, that you're a victim. I promise you. You can do it. I'm telling you now, but you have to do it. Nobody else can do it for you. All I can do is sit here and try to say it in a way that maybe makes some sense and comes across to you real well, so that it clicks one day. But, some people it clicks faster than others. But hopefully if it's not clicking yet, hopefully if you find yourself in that, and maybe you're kind of laughing at me a little bit and it's not clicking, hopefully you'll continue to come back. Because if you continue to come back and you continue to listen, then at some point it will click. It will. And you will be amazed with the way your life changes. Just because of the way you view it. All right? And I'll tell you what, if you can get that in life thinking that way, there's no reason you can't be successful trading. I firmly believe that. All right. What's going on, Zach? Good to see you. Joe the Butcher says there's so many great channels, the notations that got added help a ton. Yeah, I was really excited when I saw that Adam had done that. Jordan, what's going on, man? Gogi's here as well. Let me see. Crypto Girl is here. Viral Videos, what's going on? Good to see you checking in. Blockchain Gains is here. Clarkman, what's up? Alexander, silver's getting rocked. He says, yeah. No surprise, of course, guys. Hey, by the way, listen, you can join us at howtotradetowin.com, guys. Come on over. We would absolutely love to welcome you in over here. I mean, I think if you come over here and you can't find one technique, that first month that you're with us that can help you make money consistently, then you're not trying. I honestly believe that, guys. I've gone through so much effort to show you guys so many different techniques and ways of getting in and out without even having to understand the markets. And then, of course, on top of that, explaining to you the markets. But again, sometimes for some people it takes a little bit longer than others. And that's okay. The goal is you want to just get it. Once you get it, you've got it. Life changes. Until then, keep pushing till you get it, till you understand it. Let me see here. Shah says you have to get out of your own way. You are exactly correct. Yes, you are. You have to get out of your own way. You are your own worst enemy, guys. You are. Every day, you are your own worst enemy. Again, as I keep saying, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are correct. Your brain is going to believe whatever you tell it. So why not tell it that you can and believe it and then do what needs to get done, right? Let me see here. That's so much bullish selling today. All right, guys. So here's the thing. I left Discord on Friday. I had a target up here potentially of this range right around the EQ up here, and of course it stopped short. It had a short 5. It hit actually my previous target, the one I had talked to you guys about maybe Thursday, maybe Friday morning. Yes, it was Thursday maybe. It was right down here at the bottom of this range. That's actually where it hit. Came off on that. I believe we've got a 1-2 working on a 3 here. Wave 3 should target this EQ down here at around 10,240 or so. I believe we've got here. I believe we've got a 1, 2, 3, and this is a 4 right here. And then we'll have that 5 down there. The expectation then, if we can get a 5 there, 4 should kind of get rejected right here at the top of this larger trading range, at the support of this larger trading range, or this smaller trading range up here. So right around 10,487, 10,490, 10,500 around there. That gets you to 38.2. That's what we usually look for a wave 4. Wave 5 should then bounce off the top of the large trading range down here. That's this black line. And that would be right there around, what is that? Around 10,070, 10,080, somewhere right around there. And then that, if I'm correct, that just gives us a 1, and 2 should then find the 70.5 retracement right up here at this high volume node, right up around 10,840, 10,850 or so. And then that sends you further down here without overextending. That sends you to a 3 at the EQ of this trading range, and then a 5 down here at 86.21 if it follows through like that. There's the way I'm looking at it, guys, I'm looking at this being a 1-2, or I'm looking at a potentially a 1-2 here moving down. If we look at this, if we go over here and look at this, we hit the 50 here is basically what we hit. And so that's an adequate wave 2. So I'm thinking that might be a wave 2. If we pull it down to the wave 2 area there, if it's a wave 4, then it hit the 61.8 for wave 4. And that's still valid wave 4 because it didn't actually, it did a little bit. It kind of impeded on wave 1 here a little bit. I really lean away from a wave 4, though, if it's a 61.8. So I'm kind of looking at this as a 1-2 here. Or at the very least, an A and a B. And if this is an A and a B, then, forget all this normal extensions that we look at. If this here is an AB, then we're just kind of looking at, let's see here. The 100, I guess we're probably looking pretty much the same area. Yeah, we're looking right here. Because at this 8,500, 8,535 here, if this is an A and this is a B and this is a C, then at 8,535, wave C will equal the height of wave A, which is what we generally look for. So, we can get this following down exactly as we would expect and just get an ABC off that. Again, if we're looking at it that way, that would be where we're at. If we look at this as a 1-2 here, where we've got a 3 coming down, I'm not saying it's going to, but just so you guys have have your eyes open to what may be happening. I guess I'd probably get right about there. So. And so if this were a 1-2, we would expect a 3 down here at 68.83, 4 popping back up to around 85.17, and 5 down here around 58.73. I say that one because if we get 5 down to that area, that becomes an A, and then we get a B, and then we get a C down toward my target that I'm looking at, potentially down there below 3,000. And that would get us that ABC down there. And then that would mean that this is just, wave Z, as we're kind of looking at WX, YX, Z kind of thing. But, it's got to get through all this other stuff first, guys. That's just if it does and continues on through all that. For right now, we're just looking at this local count that I gave you there. And I think that's pretty much, where we're looking at as far as that goes. Now, if we jump over here to the 4-hour, what you should have noticed up here at the top was you should have noticed this bearish divergence here on RSI. You had lower highs as we made higher highs with price. We also, as you can see here, have this for the last basically up to that point there. It's obviously dropped since then, but that same point there, basically you've had OBV with negative divergence. OBV dropping off from the 15th through the 19th there, 20th, with the lower highs, while price was making those higher highs. Again, price tends to follow volume. At this point here, this point over here, at that point, price kept going up, volume was going down. Fell off. Strong, sharp sell-off this morning. Dropping through the H4 pivot here, trying to bounce on the S1. It dropped through my longer-term ascending support line here. Well, it dropped through on large spread, candle spread, and large volume, which means this is likely significant here. If we're just looking at pivots, dropping through the pivot, bouncing off the S1, you're trying to see, do you get rejected before the pivot and head lower, or do you push up through the pivot? If you push up through the pivot, then you should be looking to go higher here. That should be a bottom. If you get rejected here before that pivot and you drop down and make a lower low, well, then you should be looking S2, S3 kind of area with it. So just the other way to look at it, as you see the H4 time frame here, the RSI is just now there in oversold. Stochc RSI, of course, is oversold. Daily looks like trash. You have a bearish engulfing up here. This candle, yesterday's candle, engulfed the previous day's candle. This candle right now is giving a strong confirmation of this as a reversal, of this bearish engulfing as a reversal. But we'll have to see how the end of the day shows up. Usually if you have a bearish engulfing, that's a potential reversal, and you're looking for a large, supply spread candle, which we have right now. But you're looking for that at the end of the day to kind of confirm that. Here on the daily, we are back below the S1. Again, as I said on the H4 there, drop through the pivot, through here, push back up, get rejected before the pivot, and head back down. That's weak. You're looking for a drop below here. You get a drop below here, you should expect further down. If you get a drop below that swing low. But the fact you're getting rejected before the pivot is not a good sign. That's weakness. Again, here with the Stochc RSI, practically topped out and then turning back down from that. RSI itself here is bearish. Excuse me. Now at about 41.5. So just on the bearish side of neutral. End of the day, guys, no surprise really with what's going on here. I've been talking about this a while, this range we've got back here, and how it tends to basically control everything. The only times it's popped up through it, immediately shot back down really strong. Usually it's getting rejected right around the EQ. That's where we got rejected here. Again, other things we're looking at, potentially a ascending wedge here that I've been talking about as it was printing. Based on the height of that wedge, pattern target here is 7,000, 7,100 on the breakout there. Looking here at the high volume node, they're around 9160 or so. If you're losing that, you should look for further downside. That's a pretty strong node right there, a pretty large node, as you can see on there. I don't know how else to say these things. If you're paying attention here this weekend, you will have noticed right here on the daily OBV, you got significantly lower highs here as you made higher highs right here. So again, price went higher, volume declined. Price tends to follow volume. Here we go. No surprise, but everybody's surprised, right? Weekly. The weekly candle looked pretty good there. A pretty decent, attempt to confirm this reversal here. But if this weekly ends up coming back down here, yeah, that's nothing. That's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a 1, 2, and 3 coming down. So, I mean, there's nothing. This was bullish. This was potentially bullish here. This is about to just completely throw that on the rear end. But it's the weekly, guys. So, looking at it now doesn't mean anything for the end of the week. The end of the week, it could end up much higher. And if it does, well, then this starts to look, again, more bullish. But at the end of the week, if you're seeing anything like this or worse, yeah, you should be looking for lower downside. Further moves down on that. Again, still no surprise on everything. Fell through the support here on the weekly. Right there up there at, which one was it? Oh, right here. Between these 2 days right here, or those 2 weeks is where you had that drop down through that. So again, no surprise. Zoom out to the monthly. Monthly doesn't look good. But again, we've still got 9 more days in the month. About a week and a half. Almost. But this is not a good wick. This is a bearish engulfing candle right here. A significant bearish engulfing candle. Engulfing a doji at the top of an advance. So we get to doji at the top. That's a pause. This right here is confirming a reversal. Now, even that is not guaranteed, guys. Again, there's absolutely no guarantees in trading. But when you're looking at candles here, a doji itself does not signal reversal. It signals a pause, potential reversal. A candle like this coming after it is what we look to confirm that. It's the best you can get as far as a confirmation goes from that on there. I don't think TD sequential tells us anything. Nah, it's a 6 there. So anyway, everything just kind of, there's no real surprise going on here, guys. Things are where they're generally expected to be. Nothing real different than anything we've said before. So there you go. And why is all this happening? And in the other markets, because there goes the DXY taking off. So I've decided, I've given you guys 2 different counts here. Potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2, or this flat idea. I'm going with the flat idea right now. As long as price remains above this swing low at 92.70, I'm looking at this as a flat. And that kind of finds confluence with the flat in the Euro USD as well. So a little bit easier to see in the Euro USD, but just coming down from the top, that flat's a little bit easier to read. But here we go. We're up. This should give us a wave 3 target minimum up here at 95.80. What does that do? The 2 things I wanted it to do. It gets us above this blue range, and it gets us out of this descending channel right here. So if we're getting through that, there's no reason you shouldn't be thinking that the bottom's in for the dollar. And we've got a lot of upside after that. We've got at least multiple months of upside overall. I mean, obviously you're going to pull pullbacks along the way, but it should continue higher up for months at least, as it does. And, again, guys, if the DXY is moving up like that, that creates a deflationary environment. I don't know how all your assets go up. I don't know how that happens. So, I think everything just kind of follows the paths I've talked about. Again, my only one I would think out of all of them that might be different is Bitcoin. But that's only because of how small it is, relative to everything else. We'll see. We'll see. I do think Bitcoin has the best chance, but I think what that just means, I think it makes more sense to me that would mean that Bitcoin just turns up before anything else does. Bitcoin starts its bull run before anything else does, if that happens, if we get that drop down below 3,000. So until then, just play the market, guys, as it's playing. Stop worrying about what it's going to do overall. If you want to be traders, stop giving so much time worrying about what's happening 5 years out. Worry about what's going on when you're trading. Deal with the rest of it as it comes, right? The only other thing I can suggest other than that is if you're like in the U.S. where you've got, tax issues you got to think about, well, then you can think out a little bit further ahead and kind of decide what you want to do. Because the last thing you want to do is make these profits here, and then your plan is to sell your crypto, when it comes time to pay your taxes, to pay them off. And then you find out that, your crypto's worth, a fifth of what it was when you made the profits. And all of a sudden you've got to pay 5 times as much in crypto to pay for your taxes. You don't want to do that. But other than that, I mean, long-term thoughts, if you're a trader, you're a trader. Look for what's going on there. Let me see here. Clarkman said, just had a lovely weekend disconnecting with his girl. Now back to work and going hard on them gains. Thanks, Chris, for showing some light and method on what I thought was rocket science. Hey, man, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're getting something out of it, man. And especially, I'm glad you took the weekend off, man. Take some time off, guys. The reality of it is, you guys, you watch the markets all the time. You watch the charts all the time because you're scared that you're going to miss the move, right? Well, the reality of it is you're going to miss the move anyway. That's the reality of it, guys. So if you look at it and you go, okay, what's my quality of life? Well, I'm going to tell you what right now. If you're watching the charts 24/7, your quality of life is down. If you're with your girl or with your kids or whatever, I mean, you should be with them. Not where you're with the market and they're just this distraction. You don't want to turn into that, guys. I tell you, if you're going to do that, it's not worth trading. It's really not. Because listen, guys, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Forgetting in the markets, in life. Tomorrow is never promised to any of us. We could not wake up. And then what? You spent your last 24 hours, all the time, so they're staring at the charts instead of at the people that matter in your life. Seriously, think about that. I see too many of y'all spend all your waking minutes in front of the charts. Stop. Life is too short, guys. And I don't mean this to be preachy, but I just mean this as, what if, man? What if? Do you really want that to be the last thought that your family and your loved ones have of you? It wasn't that you took them out and had the day with them. I don't know. Maybe it hits me a bit more. I'm a single father. So, I'm always thinking about my son. We're always doing things, Had a great day yesterday. But, my job, I really feel some of my job here, guys, is to kind of bring y'all back down to earth and remind you of the things that are important. It's easy to get caught up. It's easy, especially when you're young, to think that, you're invincible and tomorrow's always going to come. You don't want it to be that one time it doesn't come to be with you, right? And not to have done the things that really mattered. So, not trying to be down here or anything, guys, but really want you to think about that kind of stuff. I'm a firm believer, man. The trading should do 2 things for you. It should give you freedom in 2 ways, money and time. Now, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more busier than others. I understand that. But if you're year after year after year, if you're working, 100 hours a week trading, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. You're not going to be happy doing that. I promise you. All right? It's the reason why I never went and worked for anybody doing that type of thing. I never worked as a professional trader for a company because that's what they would expect. I didn't want to do that. Let me see here. Clarkman, you got 25% on oil today? Man, that's awesome and counting. I told you that short was going to kick in. Hey there, Hank. Good to see you. Casper says, just wondering what your opinion of a possible downward channel spanning from the 2nd of August drop to the most recent low, forming the lower end of the channel. Bounces off the EQ as well. So I think you're looking at... this is... Sorry, that was DXY. So I think you're looking at this right here, maybe. You said from the August 2nd high. Is that this one? No. From the second drop. Okay. I'm sorry. From the second drop. Where's that at? This over here. Something like that. I'm not really a fan of this channel. Now, I mean, the channel seems to work all right. Let me get this so you guys can see what we're looking at here. Let's see. All right. Now, if we look at this, let me make sure I got this set up about right here. It looks like it's doing a decent job, the EQ here. And right now we're under it, so we should get rejected. And look, we kind of reject where I would write about it, that descending EQ and down and then back up and then down below there. I don't like this as a channel that I would normally look at, like a channel you're looking for a breakout from. And I wouldn't like that because the trend previously was up. So I draw the channel from the swing high, not from the swing low. So I would, for me, you would draw from either this point, which just means all of a sudden your channel's down here now, or you draw from up here. And so since this is the swing high, this is where I would draw it from, because that's where price actually reverses. Here is interior. This is an interior counter trend pullback as it finished up higher, right? So if I'm looking at that, I would draw it from the swing high up here, because that's the final before the reversal. So yeah, that's the way I would look at it. And of course, in that case, you've got this right here and here, and it maybe it does, maybe it aligns right here. It might actually work out, but then again, it might not, because it may be more along the lines of this right here when it's all said and done. You don't want that to go through it, so minimally it would have to probably be something like that, which I don't like the two touches on that, but it is what it is. You know what, let me go ahead and do it the other way here. It's just a little bit easier instead of trying to finagle it around there. There we go. And so as you can see, this EQ works really well as well, Casper. See how we get this drop right to this bounce, and then up. We come down, we get a little rejection prior, pullback, support, comes through, comes down, bouncing up for maybe a bit of rejection before coming down. But either way, if it gets down here to the 3 and it pushes up for the 4, it'll reject around that area and come on down. So that's the way I would prefer to draw it, just because usually if you're looking at channels going in the opposite direction, you want to draw them off those reversal points, not off the interiors. Off the interiors, if you get something off an interior that works out well, it just means that in general it's a good, it's a channelish movement down. And so that's a good way to kind of confirm that price, may be headed down. But if you're looking for the actual channel that you're looking for a breakout of, something like that, pattern targets and all that, usually you're going to do it where point reverses on that, for that. Let's see here. Let me see here. Clarkman says, I had many issues with risk management. You really made me realize that the gains will build themselves when you close your losses, when you clog your losses there. Yeah, so thank you again. Yeah, you're welcome, man. That's what it's all about, guys. Again, it's trying to get the bad habits and the erroneous thought processes out of your heads. That's what we try to do at TWC. And it's not easy all the time. We're human beings. We're creatures of habit. And, if you come in, when you first come in as a trader, new to the market, you think you have to buy here and sell here. And you think if you don't, you're not going to be successful, or you're losing money or something. You think all these weird things. And so you hold on when you shouldn't hold on. Yet the reality of it is, if you just bought around here and sold around here and you were able to gather this profit, and this came back down and then you sold here and maybe you bought back down here and you made more profit there, and then it goes up and comes down again and you sold here, or even sold here and then bought down here. You're locking in profit here, here, here. You're not getting all the move, but you're consistently locking in profit. So time and compounding ends up working to your advantage. And it takes you where you want to get to. It actually puts you where you want to get to. But it's hard to wrap our heads around that at first, because we're always looking for that, that at first, that high and that low, as we do it there. Let me see here. Devin, you like my daily looks like trash thing? It does. I can't say anything about it. It looks awful right now. But, the daily still has another 7 hours to go, guys. So don't get too overly, that's almost a third of the day. Don't get too excited about the daily yet. We'll see where it ends. Right now, it looks like trash. It doesn't, there's nothing soul-saving about that daily right now. But, again, we'll see how it ends up with the final third of the day to go still. Sean, good to see you, man. Let me see here. Was that San Antonio, Texas crypto or San Angelo, Texas crypto? Says, is that bearish divergence on the RSI monthly? Let me look back over there. Monthly, RSI. No, it looks like we've got lower lows here. Lower lows here and lower lows off that. I think the biggest thing on the large time frames, guys, I think the biggest thing to continue to watch is this zone right here. I was saying when we were coming up here to it, I said, listen, well, I guess we're probably down here somewhere. I said, we need to actually get a close above it and follow through. Because no matter which chart you look at, some of the other charts, they have this bounce out right here at the beginning. And then it bounces out here as well. But in both those, they were up one day and the next day sank back down hard. And all the rest of the time, it's all around this EQ area. In this range here, it keeps getting rejected. I think you need a break out of that and a follow through with that. It can't just be a break out of it because then you just get something like this. So until that happens, I would feel more bullish if that happened, guys. I'll be honest with you. Same thing I said before when I started talking about it. If we got this breakout above here and then we got another follow through on the next candle, I would feel much more bullish than I do at the moment overall. But until that happens, I really think you've got to be more concerned about possible further downside because of this range right here that just seems to not give away. It just keeps on keeping on. It keeps holding on there. So, again, I've said it before, a while back. I'll say it again now. That might be the breakout or you got to watch right there overall. To at least have some real good chance about, being in a bull market. I think until it breaks above, but even if it does and it gets some follow through and then I think it could still turn back and come down. But until it gets that, I think you should have to give, some definite serious thought to the idea that you may not be in a bull market yet. That's all. But lots of money to be made if it's not, guys. And I'll tell you what, you can make money on the way down and then or add money down at the bottom there as it goes up. And then you've got this ride from 2,000 or 1,000 or something up to 100,000. That's a heck of a ride, right? That's what you're looking for. My fear is if we break out here and if this is it, then we only get to like 28, maybe 36 on a stretch. And you might go, oh, that's great. 28,000 or 36,000 from 10,000. Man, I'm thinking I'd rather have 1 to 2,000 going to 100,000. I mean, even if you don't trade that, even if you just buy there and hold it, you're making a ridiculous return on your money, 50 to 100 times, right? But if you're trading it not aggressively, just trading it, just the honest to goodness moves that make the most sense along the way, and there'll be a lot less of them, but you can exponentially increase your 50 to 100 times, more than that. Beyond that 50 to 100 times. It's when you get really aggressive. See, in a bull market, guys, you don't have to trade aggressively. You don't have to trade just because there's a chance. Because price is going to continue up. Let price do the work for you. Just take the trades that make the most sense. That's how you make money, guys, and that's how you keep it. But if you try and play everything just because there's a chance, you're going to lose a lot of money that you don't have to lose along the way, which means that time and compounding doesn't work as fast as it would otherwise, which means you can still get to your targets, just going to take longer. I know, again, that's counterproductive, right? You think, or that's a counter thought to what you normally have, right? You think you have to trade as much as possible. No, you're over trading, guys. Most of y'all out there are over trading. Way too much trading. Way too much staring at the screens. Which, again, is why I go back to the Tier 3 stuff we teach here, man. I wasn't sure how we were going to do this Tier 3 training stuff that we do. And, it's just kind of worked itself out that this is a great area for me to be able to get in there and really teach you guys how to use all these techniques and these tricks that, 25 plus years of being in the market, I've learned things that really work. Sometimes other people use them, sometimes they don't, but they work. As anybody that's in there, I'll tell you right now. Again, I keep getting the DMs and everything, the messages about those. They work. And I think that's the great thing about it. It's become a great way to be able to transfer all that from me to you guys, to help you as you're really getting a better grasp on what's really going on with the markets overall. It allows you to make some money along the way. So you don't just have to sit there, and feel like you're missing out while you're learning. So I think it's probably what's really done great with that. Let me see here. Let me catch up to you guys. Yeah, Hank says the more you stare at the chart, the less likely you are to actually notice something. Yeah, because you just kind of get this tunnel vision on what's just there, and it just becomes all blurry. And that's why I tell you guys, man, you got to get away from the charts. Take the weekend off, or I take the weekend off because it works well. I say it works well with my son. He's homeschooled, so he could actually just do school stuff on the weekends if he wanted to. We could take other days off, but it works well with what we do at TWC since I work there Monday through Friday. So I just take the weekends off. I've taken the weekends off for a long time. There's no reason to trade weekends for me. I don't care what happens on the weekends. It's not going to make any dent in what I'm doing overall, my trading. And I think once you guys realize that for yourselves, you can feel free to take a weekend off. Or, whatever it is, a couple of days in the week, but you have to take time off. You have to get back. You have to adjust and to refresh and to relax, to get all that stress that's built up from watching the charts out of you. So that way when you come back, things look a lot more clear and you start noticing things that you should notice. Let me see here. Greg, you're a single father as well? Hey, man, love it. Love to hear it, man. I love being a father, man. As much as I love trading, guys, and different things that I do in my life, being a dad is the absolute greatest thing I get to do every day. I'm telling you guys, man. For those of you that don't have kids, just wait, you'll see. They are an amazing addition to your life. Yeah, I think so anyway, man. Hank, you're here for the rants, not the charts. No rants today, man. Let me see here. Oscar, what's going on? I'm going to miss a move? Nah, you shouldn't miss any moves anywhere. But you're going to miss moves. See what I just did? Shouldn't miss any, but you're going to miss them. It's life. You spend your whole time staring at the charts looking for this move, right? And then you miss all these little moves in the middle. That's the problem. And because you're going to miss this whole thing as well, or most of it. How many people didn't buy down here in this area? Scott and I were screaming at the top of our lungs for a while there about buying down here. And buying here. And buying here. And then I put my point and figure target up here. Which we hit. So, I mean, you're going to miss it, guys. You're going to miss the biggest moves more likely than not. So don't worry about them. All you want is volatility. If you're trading, all you want is volatility. You just want price to move. As long as price is moving, you can find a way to read it. But if it's not moving, then you can't make any money, right? That's the thing. Excuse me. What's with the new chat pop-ups on Twitch? I don't know what pop-ups you're talking about, man. I don't know. Somebody else will have to help you there. Let me see here. Hey, what's going on, AXPE? Good to see you there. Block Tech Management, what's going on? Glad to see you checking in. Good to see you. Oh, that's YouTube popping up on Twitch? Okay. Oh, okay. Are you talking about my thing over here? My chat box over here? That's the Restream chat box. It has both Twitch and YouTube, and whatever I would have, wherever I was streaming to, I could pull all the chat comments into there. And so it lets you know which ones are from which platform there. The red ones, of course, being YouTube, and the purplish and white ones being from Twitch. So yeah, that's what it is. Let's see here. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here. Oh, you're talking about on the monthly that it's on the line chart it's a bear div? Yeah, I'm just not such a fan of line charts. Everybody's got their thing, guys, and I'm not saying I'm right, wrong, or otherwise with line charts. I'm just not a big fan of them because there's so much information there in the wicks. You can see if you want to go with the line chart, you can see a bearish divergence here. Sure, you can see one here. You got a higher high, and you got lower highs off this. So Devin, you are correct. You can see it there. I forgot who was asking about earlier, but yeah, you can see that. By the way, the other thing you want to take note of is these lower lows here on OBV on the monthly. You went over here, went up, and you went even lower. Didn't go up here. And then, of course, you have what becomes the same negative divergence here on OBV. Which would suggest, of course, further down. So if I'm looking at OBV on the monthly, this interests me. It's the monthly, so I'm kind of about it, but I'm still watching it. The fact that we had a stronger drop here that made us that negative divergence down here with this positive divergence up here on price. To me that says we might just have some further down there to go. So we'll see. Like I said, my expectation right now is that any downside to 3,000 or whatever, or 2,000 or 1,000, whatever, is going to be real limited in duration. And that should be it. And at that point, you should be looking to go higher high. But I also believe that most people will be too scared to buy at that point, which is why it works. That's why that kind of shakeout works. Because people are too scared to buy. So the people that buy are the ones that are going to hold for a while. And everybody else is just selling, which gets it out of those weak hands, the ones that would sell it, which makes it easy for price to do something like this or better going up. So, I mean, that's why those shakeouts work like they do. For there. What? Fake news. Oh, okay. Jordan was saying that Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies just announced they're reducing their Bitcoin position by 50%, and then he found out it was fake news. Yeah, I don't think, guys. Here's the thing. Oh my gosh. When it comes to Saylor, he's gonna say whatever he's gonna say right now. Now, if he's serious about holding 100 years, maybe he is, and he does. But man, I'll tell you what. For most people in this particular market, with that kind of portion of their company that they're putting into it, I don't know, because they're not a Bitcoin company, guys. They are a software services company, so they're not an investment company. So he can say all he wants to right now that he's going to do this, he's going to do that in 100 years and this and that, but why should we believe him right off the top? I mean, maybe he believes he would. Let's just even say he's not trying to lie or anything. Let's just say he really believes he would. But will he really do it if Bitcoin's dropping down to 3,000 or 2,000? Heck, 6,000. Is he really going to do it? Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the reality of it. It's a publicly traded company. And that's company resources. And if they're losing half its value there, it's quite likely that he's going to lose investors in his company. He's going to lose people, which means the value of his company is going to continue to drop. How much of that is he willing to how much does he really believe that Bitcoin's going to be up there? He's got more than, he's not like you guys. He's not like y'all. He can't just think about himself and, $5 or something, $500, $5,000, whatever. He's got to think about how does what's going on with Bitcoin affect the value of his company. He always has to think about that. If he's not, he's an idiot. If you've got a publicly held company, you absolutely have to concern yourself with how your shareholders view what you're doing. Absolutely. And how your company's doing. Now again, he could really mean that right now he really believes he would hold 100 years. Not that he'd be around for that, but, whatever. But until somebody's... Okay, there's this old adage. It goes, Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Think about that. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And so if Bitcoin were to drop down to 6 or 3 or 2 or 1 or something like that, that's a punch in the face. The question is, does he follow through what he said he was going to do? And until we've got a track record that he does, why are we going to give him so much leeway to believe him? He may have every intention of holding on, but when push comes to shove and he gets punched in the face, he could easily change his mind. But, again, this is what most people on, crypto Twitter, rest of social media aren't thinking about. They're just like, oh, he's doing this. He's saying these things that make me feel good about owning Bitcoin because he's got a lot more money than me. He's a lot better off than me. So he must, and so I'm gonna give to him this this label of expert that I'm going to now follow him because he's saying something I want to hear. Yay, go him. But I'm not going to think logically. I think that's what people are kind of saying at the moment. But I just think you guys got to be careful. He may, again, guys, I'm not saying he won't. He may. But I'm saying we have no record to know that he will or won't. And everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. What happens if he gets punched in the face? If he gets down there. Does he give in? Does he change what he thought he was going to do? Did he ever have any intention of really holding like that? Or was it a marketing ploy to hopefully make some money real quick here? I don't know. Not saying it is. But I'm just saying none of us are inside his head. None of us know for sure. Right? And your goal as traders is to be logical when people are being emotional. It's not for you to be emotional. It's for you to look at what is everybody else doing and why. How are their emotions leading them to do the things they're doing? That's your job to figure out. Let somebody else be emotional, not you, though. Let's see here. I'm going to probably mess up your name here, but is that Emu? Good to see you here. It says, what do you think about point figure charts? Don't know really anything about them, but one in Apple points to $80. I haven't looked at Apple, but I do use point figure charts. As a matter of fact, I got a point figure chart right here for Bitcoin that has us going down to at least 9,600. At least 9,600 off that. And it was my point figure chart that actually got us the, back here when we were coming up on this run up here, I had a point figure chart that gave us this range up here where we exited. Where we let everybody, our Discord participants know that was the top area here and that, that's where we got rejected at. So yeah, I'm a big fan of point figure. But I haven't looked at Apple on that, so I don't know what was going on with that. $80 though? I don't know. I don't even know what Apple's at today, so honestly don't know how far that would be. But yeah, point figure charts are big. Guys, people have been using point figure charts for more than 100 years. They're real good if you learn how to use them. Let me see here. Can this drop be an ABC? Yeah, this could be an ABC. That's what I talked about earlier. This could be an A and a B and a C. Sure. It could. Now, again, when it comes to are they ABCs or whatever, I tend to look at, if it's closer to 1, then I lean to maybe a C. If it gets closer to 1.618, then I start leaning toward a wave 3. And again, it doesn't have to. There's no guarantees on it, but if we do this here, and I need to get ready to go here, guys. Let me see. If I look at this, the 1618 is just below here. We're well beyond the 1414. So that makes it really close to a possible 3 versus a C. So could this be an A? Sure, it could be. In terms of overall retracement, let's see, can we look at it this way? We can do this. And so in that case, then we have retraced. Let me flip this around here real quick. And we tagged the 65. That's a pretty good place. I like that's right there around the HVN. Sure, potentially overextended C, but could be. But that's what I was talking about at the beginning. So what we're going to look at here is, first of all, do we get a bounce up here and then a drop back down here? If we do, that gives us clearly 5 waves, which means it has to be 5 and then 3 and then 5 more, right? If we go from here and we head up above this wave 2 up here where I have wave 2, right around 10,988 or so, if we can get above that, that has me, and we're down here only in 3, that really has me looking at this is a 1 and this is a 2 and a 3 out of there. So yeah, that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Yeah, definitely a possibility for sure. But you need that to happen. And until that happens, I'm looking for the 3 to finish out, 4 up and 5 down. Until it proves me otherwise right now. So yeah. Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, Othmain. Femix has just been added to TradingView. Yeah, I mentioned that last week. That's a great thing, man. So now you guys can actually look at Femix charts. If you're trading on Femix with us, you can actually look at Femix charts there on TradingView now. No more like, having to trade somebody else's on there. So if you want to do that, guys, let me see here. Go ahead and use this code, guys. We get a small kickback on it. If you like what we do, you enjoy being a part of this, whether you're part of anything else we do or just watching the live streams here, man, I tell you, check out Femix, man. And do me a favor and use that code right there. We'd appreciate that. That just helps us. Anything we're making off that goes toward what we're doing at TWC to help us continue to add more and more and more to it. So especially if you're a member of TWC, that's what you want to do. If you're going to trade Bitcoin anyway, trade it at Femix, man. And then that way you're still contributing even more to this, which gets us to where we're going to get even faster, which means more information, more content, more analysts coming in, all that stuff. As I explained in today's BMA morning video update at the end of it, what we're looking to do and how we're looking to really continue to build this out. So, yeah, that's the thing. Because, right now I do most of the work myself, which is a lot of hours, which is why I can't do some of the things that people want to do, like live trading and stuff like that. But if we can continue to get the membership up there, as we've been doing lately, that'll allow me to bring in a couple of analysts to help out with all the other content we do, which will allow me then to be able to open up with more of the education, more of the potential live trading and whatnot, where I'll be able to keep a trading thing going with you guys throughout the day, and you can log in whenever you want and kind of see where I'm trading and what I'm looking for, and you can join right in if you'd like. So this is where we're going. This is where we're trying to get to. But in order to do that, we have to get me out of doing some of the daily stuff I do, and we can't do that until we can afford to pay more analysts to come in to take care of that. So it's always big plan there. Let me see here. Have a great day, Kyle. Let me see here. Let me see here. Yeah, Cormax said in 2013 that Bitcoin was worthless. Talking about Sailor over there at MicroStrategy. He has no problem changing his mind if needed. And that's an important thing. As a business owner, guys, as a trader, deeply held convictions, loosely held, I guess. Deep convictions loosely held. You should be able to change your mind. Now, you don't flip-flop every day. That just means you have no conviction. Conviction's like, I really believe it's kind of going to do this. But if real information comes up that says, you know what, you might be wrong, then you have no problem changing your mind on that. Let me see here. Gerardo says Sailor may be serious. His board, maybe not so much. They can sack him and force the CFO to sell it off. Yeah, exactly, guys. There's a lot depending on, what kind of shares he has and what kind of control the board has and all that kind of stuff. But it's not completely up to Sailor what's going on with MicroStrategy. You guys have to understand that. In the business world, he's really got to answer to the board more or less. Now, there's ways to roughshod your way through that, depending on how much of the company you own and who you know and whatnot. There's a lot of real bad dealings that go on in the corporate world, guys. But nonetheless, it's still there. He doesn't just get to do whatever he wants, free of nobody else telling him anything. So yeah. me see here. Powell is testifying tomorrow before the Senate. Can we expect more volatility in stocks and cryptos? Sure, short-term volatility, I'm sure. Yeah. But it's all short-term. It's nothing I think that's going to make a directional change or anything like that. Stuff is doing what's already been expected to do. Targets it's already, hitting, expected to get to, kind of thing. So, yeah. Let me see here. People are complaining that the fake Sailor account can be sued for market manipulation. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff you guys don't understand about market manipulation and stuff like that, and how it can affect people that are even in unregulated markets. Because even if the market itself is unregulated, the participants are regulated depending on who they are and how they're engaging. U.S. law for you. And law in most countries. Most bigger countries. So, yeah, a lot of issues on there. All right, man. Clark, man, great to hear from you too, bud. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Hey, listen, if you haven't yet done it, I'm telling you right now, I think one of the best books you guys can get, I haven't talked about this one in a while. Oh, man, what did I do with it? Socioeconomic Theory of Finance, guys. Basically, the reason why I pushed this book, there it is right there. Let me see here. It is actually right here. There we go. Socioeconomic Theory of Finance. And the reason I push that is because this book, I just got this recently, this year. And when I read through it, pretty much everything it said is what I've come to understand about markets over the last 25 years of doing it the hard way. So my thought is, I always look at, when I'm talking to people about trading, what is it that I know now that I wish I had known or I wish I had understood when I started? A lot of it's contained in that book, guys, just in the way that the markets move and why. It'll get you out of a lot of the groupthink and the way people seem to believe it is, but without actually doing any testing. They don't really test their theories. They just kind of assume that it works the way they think it does. So, if you guys got some a few bucks to spend and some time to read it, it's a big book, but it's an easy read. It's a very easy read. I would suggest you jump on it. It might save you 10, 20 years of mistakes, that I've had to make just to get to the same point, the same understanding in there. You'll believe some of it, maybe. Some of it you won't. You'll still make mistakes. But if you can limit those mistakes by inexpensive book, really, at the end of the day, why wouldn't you, right? All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Remember, guys, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. No matter how good or bad everything looks, nothing is guaranteed. So make sure that you've got your risk management down pat. Make sure that's where you spend your time. If you're doing that, you can almost guarantee yourself better profits and better success than you would concentrating on all this other stuff that's on here. Put most of your time and effort into your risk management, and you'll get a lot better returns. All right? It's where you make your money, guys. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for joining in. Don't forget, no more Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll be back Wednesday. All right? If you guys want more updates prior to that, come join us over at TWC there at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there, and you'll get intraday updates and everything else there every day. So there you go. You guys have a great day. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you all on Wednesday, unless, of course, you're over in Discord, in which case we'll see you there in a bit. Take care.